Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday. It is the 13th day of February. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, but today is Break Up With Your Carrier Day.
Your carrier?
I think that means like the phone company and like Switch. I think that's what that means. Otherwise, I'm not sure what it means. Your carrier pigeon? I don't know. I'm thinking that's what it is. National Cheddar Day today and National Tortellini Day today. Pretty excited about my guest. I'm going to be visiting with Rod Griffin from Experian. So, like, if you need to get your credit score, like somebody checks your credit, who do they check it with? They check it with Experian and, like, TransUnion
and
Equifax. Is that
Equifax or something? I don't know.
So there's a couple credit reporting. I think that's what it is. Anyway, he's with one of them. He's with Experian, and he's going to give us tips on how to increase your credit score.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to hearing from him. So Rod Griffin with Experian, going to chat later in the program. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Time now for surveys and studies and such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Scientists are warning that watching television for 2 hours per day will increase your risk of bowel cancer. What?
Whoa.
Apparently it's just the, sitting around. I don't think it has anything to do with the TV. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. You can read the study if you want to. That is just a bizarre little statistic there. So watching television for 2 hours can increase your risk of bowel cancer. I would consult my physician and find out why that is. If you want to read the story, I've got a link to it in the show notes today at johnandheidishow.com. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out BetterCreditCards.net. That's BetterCreditCards.net. And this is your brain on drugs. An Arizona man was arrested for riding a bird scooter while intoxicated. Well, now he's wanted by police. Shelton Begay recently failed to show on 2 separate arraignments. He was supposed to go to court. Now a judge has issued a warrant for his arrest. The 28-year-old defendant, he's 28, I guess is what that last line meant. I don't know why they said it that way. The first warrant was filed in January, the second one February 1st. And he was busted for a DUI, reckless driving, criminal damage, and other crimes. His blood alcohol content was 0.285. That's 3 times the legal limit.
Okay.
And it says here that he was piloting a motorized bird scooter. I'm going to pause.
What is a bird scooter?
I was going to ask you that. I don't know. It must just be a certain kind of scooter. Anyway, crashed into the side of a parked Dodge Dart at 9 a.m. So he was this drunk at 9 a.m. Then he took off, but he fell off the scooter. The scooter is capable of speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. It is classified as a motor vehicle. He was arrested when he quit showing up. He failed a bunch of field sobriety tests, and then now he's in trouble because he hasn't shown up for these arraignments. He was found with a can of beer, a 16-ounce can of beer, and a small bottle of 99 Bananas liqueur. I've seen that before. I didn't know anybody drank that. I've never seen anyone actually.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I guess for like a banana daiquiri, that might be used for something. I don't know.
Must go well with beer because that's what he was drinking the 2. But then again, he don't make good decisions, Heidi. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Tom Arnold, he hasn't been in the news for a while, has he? I haven't even heard his name uttered in a long, long time. I always thought he seemed like an interesting guy. Tom Arnold has filed for divorce now from his 4th wife.
Oh, my goodness.
Ashley Grousman. His wife has told friends that she was shocked because she didn't see this coming. You were his 4th wife. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying sometimes maybe you got to wonder if maybe it's him, you know?
Yeah, I
Can't
think
always
that's
be everybody else.
Exactly. I think that's
I've been
really
through a divorce.
unfortunate.
I understand. And don't get upset with me. I'm just saying what, you know.
But we've been
Yeah.
together for 19 years now.
Hey, high five, man. Denise Richards opened up about her raising her 7-year-old adopted daughter with special needs. So there's a story about that. That's kind of cool. And Reese Witherspoon fell down a flight of stairs after a party at Jennifer Aniston's 50th birthday bash in West Hollywood on Saturday. That's kind of scary. She's okay, thank goodness. But she fell down a flight of stairs. That could have been
That's
really bad.
embarrassing in
Yeah.
front of all those celebrities.
Absolutely.
Bad enough in front of our loser friends, but
Hey, come on now. Our
we're
friends
losers too.
Our friends are not losers. Our friends are awesome. In case they're
They're
listening.
awesome, but they're losers.
No, they're not. They're awesome. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the desert. Hear awesome 80s music from Scandal, featuring Patti Smythe, A Flock of Seagulls, Richard Page of Mr. Mister, Tony Lewis from The Outfield, Pretty Poison, Thomas Dolby, and more. Also, meet people from your favorite 80s movies, like Robert Hayes from Airplane, E.G. Daily from Valley Girl, and more. May 3rd and May 4th. Get more info now at 80sinthedesert.rocks. Use promo code RADIO to save $25 per ticket.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. IHOP has unveiled their latest... I don't understand what... Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's like a big pancake in a pizza box.
Yeah, it is a half pancake, half pizza. It's called the Pankizza. Am I saying that right? Pankizza?
I saw this.
I think they're just doing stuff now to get... Look at all the exposure they get when they did the IHOP.
This is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Here's the thing. You got to say something here for the marketing people, because if they're going, hey, we got a limited budget, how do we make this work? How about we come up with
do the most ridiculous
Yeah.
things we can think of.
And then, guys, pretend like we're serious. I mean, we can't let them in on the fact that we're just doing this for publicity, or they'll quit talking about it. So their latest crazy thing, IHOP, has the Pankizza, half pancake, half pizza. I don't know. Is that breakfast then, or is that... I don't know what that is. The woman who calls herself the human Barbie stunned reporters by letting them see her without her makeup. She didn't look so much like Barbie.
I've seen her.
It's weird.
It's very
And I don't mean that in a
weird.
rude way. If you want to look like Barbie and that's your lifelong dream and you're working on that, I nothing against you. I don't get it personally. I don't look like Ken, and I don't want to. I want to look like me. And
Have you seen the guy that looks like Ken,
Yeah.
that's done all the surgeries?
Yep.
and
I've seen them both.
it's unfortunate. I mean, but
there's, they're famous for that. She's the human Barbie, and now here we are talking about her. So if that's what they want, they're certainly getting it. But I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. But again, you do you, and I do me. A Kentucky mother was arrested after her 4-year-old daughter brought cocaine to school. Well, that's not
my.
good. A 4-year-old going to school? Isn't that kind of young? How old were you when you first went to school?
But there's like morning kindergarten,
Oh, yeah, that's
like
true.
daycare things for preschoolers.
How old were you when you first went to school?
I was 5 in
Yeah.
kindergarten.
I think I was 17. Just kidding. I think I was 5 or 6. I don't know. But this 4-year-old brought cocaine to school. Not a good plan at any age. Don't do that. China. Okay, we're going to...
But I think there's a thing the year prior to school called Head Start, right?
Oh, that
Isn't
could
that
be.
the
It
thing
doesn't
right
say,
before?
It just says to school. We've got 2 stories that are going to wrap up like the last 2 minutes of this program because both of these are just interesting. China has unveiled killer robots and stealth drones that can carry out airstrikes even without a human pressing a button telling them to do it. Why? Why are you doing this, China? Does this make any sense to anyone?
It's a very bad idea.
Like, hey, we're going to build a robot that can kill us.
They can kill people without
we're-
anybody telling them
and
to
we're
do
not
it.
going to put an off switch. We're going to
They
just
can
let it go.
make up their minds.
Go nuts. There are movies about this, and they don't end well for the humans.
They usually do not end well, no.
And the thing that's interesting, that kind of leads into the next story. There was this movie from the late 60s called Planet of the Apes. Do you remember
Yes.
this? And then there have been like 930 movies since then about that same thing. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but there's been a lot. Well, a group of chimpanzees, or as our son calls them, chimpanzees, which I think actually makes more
He's
sense.
probably right.
Well, I've always heard it chimpanzees, but he's like, then why don't we call them pansies? We call them chimps. So why
the
would it be?
emphasis should be on the
it's like
chimp.
chimpanzee. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm not gonna change a word.
Yeah,
Just-
you wouldn't call them chimpanzees.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chimpanzee.
Yeah. Anyway,
because then they'd be just chimps.
Let's just do this. A group of chimps built a ladder out of tree branches and escaped from the Belfast Zoo on Saturday. So they were smart enough to build a ladder.
Well, of course they're
and
smart.
escape from the zoo. I think that's interesting. But I was like, one thing, reading that story on its own would be all by itself. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then when you read that with the Chinese killer robots, stealth drones, we are living in the future. It's only a matter of time before the chimps and the robots team up and we're in trouble. I'm just saying. We spend our time on social media and sitting on the couch.
Yeah, we're dumbing ourselves down and they're
This is
getting
not good.
smarter.
Chimps are breaking out of the zoo and teaming up with killer robots from China. So I've got a link to all these stories in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? Afraid to open your own mail or even answer your telephone? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. You have rights, and we'll make sure you get them. Call and speak with Mike Habib, the tax expert who will handle your case at 877-78-TAXES or online at myirs.taxrelief.com. That's 877-78-TAXES or myirs.taxrelief.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We've got a special guest joining us today. Rod Griffin is with Experian. That's the credit company, when they're checking your credit score. This is one of the companies they check it with. Well, we're going to get some tips and some advice on how to maybe increase your credit score. And we've got Rod Griffin here with the Inside Scoop. Rod, how are you doing today, sir?
John, I'm fantastic. Having a great day.
When it comes to credit, there's a lot of people that don't quite understand how it works. And I can tell you, for the longest time, I had no idea how it worked because we quit using credit about a decade ago. We paid off everything and we didn't use credit at all. But then all of a sudden our credit score was getting smaller and smaller and smaller because we didn't use credit. And then it was affecting our insurance rates and other things. So it's kind of crazy how that works. We, recently started using credit cards again, and we're trying to repair that to make it so everything works a little bit better. But a lot of folks don't really understand this. But your credit score really matters a lot, doesn't it?
It does. Your credit report and your credit score can help you be more financially successful and can save you money if you take care of it. And that's what we want to help people do at Experian.
So usually thin is a good thing, but it kind of sounds like maybe this time it's not. What is a thin credit score? What does that mean?
Well, there are about 100 million people who have what we call thin credit files, and that means that they have fewer than 5 accounts in their credit history. And so there's just not enough information there to predict risk or to have really strong credit scores. And that's one of the things that we've tried to address with a new product we call Experian Boost that will help you add utility payments and cell phone payments and cable television payments that are on time, which has never been done before.
Wow, that's a really good idea. So how long have you guys been doing that?
We just started, so we're in an early phase. It will become widely available, and it gives people the power to give us permission to add, as I said, your positive utility payments, your positive cell phone payments to your credit report. And what we're seeing is that people with thin files actually increase their credit scores on average 12 to 15 points almost immediately. So really powerful, simple, fast way to improve your credit history.
That sounds like a great idea. If people would like to find information on that, is that online somewhere?
Really easy. Experian.com/boost, B-O-O-S-T. So Experian.com/boost. And the other thing to know is that as the individual, it's the first time that any credit reporting company has given the individual power and control to add that information. So you give us permission to put it on the report. If you decide you don't want it there, you can tell us take it off. And it really is a unique, groundbreaking service. We're really excited about it.
Again, visiting right now with Rod Griffin from Experian. And since I've got you on the line, I've never understood, how are credit scores calculated?
Yeah, it's very complex but very simple at the same time. So what you need to know as a consumer, as an individual, is that your credit scores simply reflect the information in your credit report. So scores are looking at about 5 categories of things. Do you pay your bills on time? Do you keep your balances low on your credit cards? Do you have a good mix of credit over time? So how long is your credit history, and do you have different kinds of accounts? What have you done recently? So have you opened new accounts? Have you paid things off? If you're applying for new accounts, there's what we call inquiries added to the report. And then what's your overall capacity? So really pretty simple. Pay your bills on time, keep your balances on your credit cards low, apply for credit when you need it, and you'll be just fine.
So is it possible to have a perfect credit score? I see 850 Is that possible?
It's possible. Unusual, but possible. And that's really not the goal. Credit score, again, just simply reflects the likelihood that you'll repay a loan as agreed based on the information in your credit report. So if you take care of your credit report, make those payments on time, maybe check out Experian Boost and add those positive payments from your cell phone bill or utility bill to help give it that credit boost. Keep your scores at 750 or above, slowly build. You'll be in great shape. So the goal is to have scores that are good enough for the lender to give you the best rates, and that's usually 700 or higher will get you qualified. 750 and above, you're probably going to get whatever credit you want.
You guys have this information online somewhere. Once again, what was that site?
Experian.com/boost.
Rod, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today.
John, thank you for having me.
Again, our guest today has been Rod Griffin. He works with Experian, and we are going to throw a link to that website in our show notes to make it easy to find all of those details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The size of your social circle is related to the size of your brain.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No. Well, yeah, no. Scientists at Oxford discovered that the size of a person's orbital medial prefrontal cortex, that's the part of the brain that identifies other people's moods and personalities, can also predict the size of that person's social circle. The average prefrontal cortex averages out to about 147 friends in a social network. So, if you have a lot more friends than that, does that mean you're a lot smarter, or that means you're not as smart? That doesn't make sense to me.
Oh.
Does that mean I'm not smart? I can't figure it out. The story that I just read, I don't know what it means. I've got a link to that. It's in the fun fact section of today's show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the desert. Hear awesome 80s music from Scandal, featuring Patty Smythe, A Flock of Seagulls, Richard Page of Mr. Mister, Tony Lewis from the Outfield, Pretty Poison, Thomas Dolby, and more. Also, meet people from your favorite 80s movies, like Robert Hayes from Airplane, E.G. Daly from Valley Girl, and more. May 3rd and May 4th. Get more info now at 80sinthedesert.rocks. Use promo code RADIO to save $25 per ticket.
Now, fear this. It's time for fun with phobias. You're going to probably get this one today. Testophobia. 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 What do you think it is?
It's either a fear of tests.
Yes, that's what it is.
Or I
don't know. I don't even want to know. As a matter of fact, as soon as I read that, I thought, danger, Will Robinson. Stop. Put on the brakes. I should have just given this one to you. But you got it. Yes, fear of tests. Testophobia. It's today's fun with phobias.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the Weird Gift of the Day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now, weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. You want to know what today's weird gift is?
What is today's weird
It is
gift?
a ponytail hat. It is a quite silly hat with a quite silly ponytail. So,
Alrighty.
for those of you looking for that, WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Now, the weird news. A woman who couldn't get a beef patty at a favorite New York eatery used a baseball bat in protest. This happened on the weekend. Police released surveillance video of a woman in the Bronx smashing a restaurant's windows after learning the eatery had run out of her favorite food.
Oh, my gosh.
She says, back home restaurant, they ran out of the stuff back in January the 15th. She ordered a patty. She was told they ran out. She got upset. She left, came back to the Jamaican restaurant with a baseball bat. Video shows her bashing in windows. She fled. Police were still searching for her on Saturday. The video shows a woman dressed in black and white in a jacket and a matching sneakers, swinging a multicolored aluminum bat as bystanders tried to stop her before she walked away. Nobody was injured, thank goodness. But what in the world is going on? People are going crazy.
If there's one thing I learned from this show, it's you do not mess with people's food.
Especially when they're hungry. Don't mess with hungry people. That's
Jeepers,
a bad idea.
creepers.
They go nuts.
People lose their minds.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I would like some McNuggets. Yeah, we don't sell them this time of day. You do
You're
now.
dead.
It's crazy. All right, your moment of duh is on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. I just got thinking of something. The monkeys that broke out of the zoo,
Yes.
I don't know if they caught them or not, but I wonder if they're wearing funky monkey shirts.
They're probably not wearing shirts.
Oh, it's funky monkey shirts. They're not shirts for monkeys? Okay. Authorities say a Florida man was arrested for misusing 911 to call an emergency line over 200 times. Why? Well, he was bored and he wanted somebody to talk to.
Oh, wow.
He's not going to be so bored now. He was arrested. They met the 38-year-old man, Michael Reston, who told officials he accidentally dialed 911 and did not have an emergency. He said his phone ran out of minutes and he just wanted someone to talk to because he couldn't use the phone for anything other than 911.
Wow.
It doesn't use minutes. Authorities searched and they found that he'd done this not once, not twice, but at least 200 times in the last 2 months. He
Oh,
was
my
arrested and
gosh.
received a first-degree misdemeanor for misusing 911. Bad idea. It's definitely today's moment of duh. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, these three things. Heidi, what do these three things have in common?
Okay.
Box, monkey, crescent. So we've talked about monkeys quite a bit in today's program, but this is not an actual physical monkey. Each of these are one of these. Box, monkey, crescent. I have some in my garage, by the way. Does that help?
It's a wrench.
Yes. Box wrench, monkey wrench, crescent wrench. They're all wrenches.
I've never heard of a box wrench.
Oh, it's,
but I've heard of
I
the
can
other.
show you one.
I know the other two.
Yeah,
but
I
I've
can
not
show you
heard
what a
of
box wrench is. Box wrench, monkey wrench, crescent wrench. That's what
Alrighty.
these three things have in common.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and our good news comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.net. And our good news today, this dude is definitely the champ, Heidi. Champion boxer donates $9 million purse. He won the fight. He got $9 million.
A purse?
That means like when they fight, that's what they win.
I was going to say, that's one heck of a purse.
No. His I'll say
And what's a
prize.
boxer doing with a purse?
It's not that kind of purse.
He
Boxer.
probably needed to learn how to fight carrying around a purse.
Whole different thing. Champion boxer donates an entire $9 million prize from his big fight to a house for the homeless. How cool is that?
That's very cool.
He could have used the winnings on a sports car, luxury goods, whatever. This British kickboxer donated all of it to charity. After spending years of his life struggling with drug addiction and mental health issues, Tyson Fury, now a heavyweight boxing champion, he's a 30-year-old fighter, also known as the Gypsy King in the ring. He squared off in December, ended up winning quite a bit of dough. Says his purse for the fight was about $3.5 million. The total amount of pay-per-view income brought his total payment up to $9 million. All of that he gave to this charity. I think that is so cool. I think that is just absolutely
That's really,
amazing.
really, really sweet.
So-
I love that.
So this is a guy who he's the champ because he won, but he's also champ because of what he's done. And I think it's really cool that all of this is going to help homeless people in the United Kingdom, where he was a homeless person at one point. He said, I did give away my last purse. I'm going to just say prize, so you'll quit. I did give away my last prize, but I don't do charity work for a pat on the back. I think that's even cooler. He said, I do it to help people, but I do not want praise for it. I do not want to be called a do-gooder. So he's saying, you guys don't do this isn't what I'm doing. I'm doing it to help people.
Right.
That's even cooler.
That is very cool.
I just want this guy's awesome.
You just want to give him a hug.
I do. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he'd take kindly to a hug, and he could beat the snot out of me. So, but he's a very.
I don't know. I think he's probably got a.
I think he's a very kind.
Side. He likes purses.
He doesn't like purses. That's a prize that you win in a fight. By the way, I just want to take a moment here. Every once in a while, we'll have a subject where we'll talk about something, and we chuckle and have fun. Never, ever, ever meaning to make anybody feel bad. So. Just now, when Heidi was laughing about a purse.
I was not laughing. Yes, I was.
It was about the silly
I wish people
word.
would listen to the whole, to
but I just want to make
that
sure
is said.
There was something that was mistaken.
I was laughing at it was called a purse, not at the fact that this wonderful gentleman gave so much money to such a good cause.
I agree.
So,
but I just wanted to make sure we say, and I want to apologize. We had somebody that misheard something last week, and what they thought they heard, they were offended. And I want to make sure that we would never, ever, ever do what you thought we did. No,
absolutely not.
So again, just want to say that because I think it needs to be said. I sent an email too, but I hadn't heard back, so I just want to let you know that apologize because I apologize because I certainly didn't mean to cause an issue. So time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.